When a hormone is deficient, treatment may be replacing therapies. For example, endurance of insulin is the treatment of type 1 diabetes. Doctors say sufferers of type 1 diabetes are deficient in insulin. Negative feedback system, TRH, tyrotropin releasing hormones, is secreted in the hypothalamus are triggers the production of TSA, thyroid stimulating hormone, in the pituitary. TSA stimulates the TSA receptor in the thyroid to increase synthesis of both T4, thyroxine, and T3, and also to release estrogen hormones, producing increased plasma level of T4 and T3. T3 feedback on the pituitary and perhaps the hypothalamus to inhibit TRH and TSA secretion. Goiter. An enlarged thyroid gland is called a goiter. The enlargement may be diffuse involving mass of the gland or localized, limited to a particular area. As in solitary single node, the increased blood flow in diffuse enlargement, for example, in Graves' disease, may give rise to a pulpy vibration field with the hand and in the breath. Noise her raise a spectacle over the ground. Guardian, a letter of referral. Mr. Davis, doctor, have referred her to an endocrinologist. They are doctor. I will be grateful and you will see this 50 years old woman who has lost 20 kilos in weight. In spite of eating more than usual, she described herself as overactive, and at first she thought the weight loss was due to this. But more recently, she has developed palpitation, diarrhea, and heat intolerance. She has noticed that her hands have a tendency to shake. Her symptoms suggested hyperthyroidism, and this was confirmed by my examination, which revealed an enlarged thyroid, red split hole, and fine tumor of the hands. Now the exercise. Complete the table with words from A, B, and C, opposite, and the last word. Put an script mark in front of the street syllable in each word. The first one has been done for you. Inhibit, inhibition. Produce, production. Release, release. Replace, replacement. Secret, secretion. Stimulate, stimulation. Complete the page from a textbook using the illustration in your own knowledge. Look at the opposite to help you. Pulses. Gonadotropin releasing hormone are released from hypothalamus and stimulate and stimulate trigger. LH and PSA release secretion from the pituitary, stimulate trigger. Testosterone production. Testosterone for production from Leydig cells of the testes. Testosterone feeds back on the hypothalamus pituitary to inhibit secretion. PSA stimulate the Sertoli cells in the seminifer tubules to produce major spore and the inhibins A and B inhibin cause feedback on the pituitary to decrease PSA secretion. Complete the sentence, look at A and C opposite to help you. Because change affect many parts of any organs or gland. Localization affect only one part. His diet is deficient in iron. He doesn't get enough iron. 4. Excess T3 and T4 increase the basal metabolic rate. Match Mr. Davis' symptom with the question her doctor asked. Look at the opposite to help you. Diarrhea 1 is D. Are your bowel normal? 2. Eating more is C. What is your appetite like? 2. Hay intolerance is A. Do you prefer hot weather or cold? Overactivity is E. Are you able to sit and relax? Palpitation is G. Have you ever felt your heart beating rapidly or irregularly? Six is weight loss is B. Is your weight stay? And 7, scramble if do your hands shake? Now, continue. The eye. Parts of the eye. Eyelid, iris, eyebrow, eyelashes, pupil. Examination of the eye. Here is an extract from a textbook description of how to examine the eye. Look for spine, strabismus, dumping of the upper lid, or obstruction of the eye. In leg lag, the upper eyelid moves irregularly instead of smoothly when the patient is asked to look down. Next, examining the pupil and no reader. They are equal inside. They are regular in outline, evenly circular. They are abnormally delayed large or constricted small. They result normally to eye and accommodation focus on near objects. To test the reaction, the accommodation of the patient to look into the distance, hold your finger in front of their nose and ask the patient to look at if the eyes should come together or converse, and the pupil should contrast as the patient look at the finger. Check also for cataract, palsy, retinopathy. Hypertensive change in the retina can be classified from grade 1 to 4. Grade 1, severe reading, increase in the lifeless of the arteries only. Grade 2, grade 1 plus arteriovenous nipping, indentation of veins where they are caused by arteries. Grade 3, grade 2 plus plain sham, Emerhards and cotton wool. Grade 4, grade 3 plus papilloedema. Now the exercise. Complete the table with work from the opposite and the way spirit. Burnout and active. Accommodation. Conscript, conscription, and conscripted. Comprehends. Delay, dilation, and dilatation. And delay. Drop, dropping. Obsolation, and recreation. Match the picture with the condition. Look at the opposite health. 1 is A, skin. 2 is C, irregular pupil. 3 is B, delayed pupil. 4 is F, conscript pupil. 5 is D, cataracts. And 6 is A, dropping of lids. Complete the extract from a test book. Look at the opposite to help you. Retinoscopy. Examine the retina with ophthalmoscope if possible with the pupil delayed to obtain the maximum view. Look for papilloedema and for plummet shape and cotton wool and assess the state of the areoles and knows the presence of any neurons as well as nipping at arteriovenous crossing. Continue. The gastrointestinal system. Examination of the abdomen. Here is an extract from a textbook description of how to examine the abdomen. Know if the abdomen is distended by fluid or gas. The presence of fluid can be confirmed by demonstrating shifting dullness vertices or tap. First, with the patient lies being flat on their back, then ask the patient to lie on one side and percus again. If flow is present, the do know her on percussion mode. Palpate each region, feeling for tenderness. Pain when touched or masses. Palpate enlargement of pieces, not also any warding or rigidity. Show bad contraction of the abdomen muscle, muscles. Guarding may be due to tenderness or activity and can be reduced if the patient is persuaded to relax. Rigidity, however, is constant and is due to peritoneal irritation. Rebound tenderness is pain when the palpation, palpating, hand is severely removed. It is a sign of peritonitis. Listen for vowel sound. Now part B, feces, the feces. There are several words for the feces. Doctors sometimes say there was blood in the stool. Have you passed black stool? Patients sometimes say, my motion has been very lost lately. Bowel movement is used to refer to defecation. Have your bowel moved today? Have you had a bowel movement today? Bowel habit is a medical expression meaning the part of defecation. Have you noticed any change of bowel habit? How often do you open your bowels? Are you going to the toilet more often than normal? Change in bowel habit could be constipation, heart infrequent, stool or diarrhea frequent, soft or liquid stool. Normal stools are brown in colors and semi-solid or formed. The consistency or degree or hardness and softness can be shown on a stool. Hard formed, semi-formed stool, and liquid watery. The color can vary from black due to artery blown as in melania to yellow, gray, or even white. Melania stools are often described as tarry, like tar, the bag stick substance that is used is for making. The tools may be red when fresh blood is present. Blood that can only that can only by detail. With a special test is called fecal occult blood. When there is a high fat content, the stool outpaid and are sometimes described as clay column. Stools that are large in bulk are described as bulky. A bad smell is described as full or offensive. Now, the exercise. Complete the case report. Look at A opposite to help you. Physical examination revealed a teenager with a safe follow. She was not obviously dehydrated. Temperatures Y 38, pulse 100 meters, blood pressure 100, 110, 80. Examination of the rest of the cardiovascular and respiratory system was normal. The abdomen was not distended. There was generalized tenderness, which was most marked in the right lower quadrant, and I was associated with guarding. but no rigidity. There was notable tenderness and no masses were few vowels, some were fetus. Match the description of the vowel with the condition most likely to cause. When then using your medical knowledge, look at the opposite to help you. Type of stool and condition. 1. Loose, bloody, is ulcerative colitis. 2. Loose, pale, bulky, is A. Celiac disease. 3. White, colored, is A. Obstructive jaundice. 4. Black tarry is A. Gastric ulcer. 5 is B. A small heart is B. Irritable bowel syndrome. And 6. Clear, watery, with mucus is D. Cholera. Match the factor to the doctor equation. Look at the opposite to help you. 1 is F. Have you passed back stool? 2. Bowel habit is A. How often do you open your bowel? 3. Change in bowel habit is B. Are you going to the toilet more often than normal? 4. Both is G. Is the size or the amount of the stool normal? 5. Color is E. What about the appearance of the stool? 6. Consistency is C. Are the most hard or loose? 7. Offensiveness is D. Do the motion have an unusual smell? Gynecology, the female reproductive system. 1. Fallopian tube, ovary, neck of womb, vagina, menstruation. A period is the common name for a menstrual monthly period. The onset of menstruation is known as menarche. The last menstrual period is commonly abbreviated in doctor notes. Means the last menstrual period was 2 weeks ago. The menstrual cycle or length and frequency of period is usually within the 4, which means a lasting 4 days and occurs every 28 days. If a period lasts more than 4 or 5 days, it can be described as prolonged. The third heavy periods mean excess blood loss, menorrhagia, often with the passage of clothes, coagulate blood. The third period pains means dysmenorrhea or painful menstruation. The time when a woman stops menstruating normally at about the age of 50 is called the menopause or climacteric. In everyday English, It is known as the change of life or simple the change. Symptoms of the menopause included hot flashes, sudden sensation of heat and night weights. Parsing, a gynecological consultation. A gynecologist is talking to a 30 years old woman. Gynecologist and patient. Are your period regular? Yes. How often do you get them? Every 4 weeks. How old were you when you start to get them? About 12. When was your last period? A week ago. How long do the period last usually? 4 or 5 days. Would you say they are light or heavy? Light. Do you get clothes? No. Do you get period pains? Not really. Is there any discharge between the period? A little. What color is it? Why? Constipation. For women, methods to prevent pregnancy included the oral contraceptive pill, now as the pill. The diagram in the intrauterine device, IUD or copper cool condoms are available for both men and women. Now, the exercise. Create simple English phrases for each of the medical terms below using your medical knowledge. Look at A and B opposite to help you. 1 is hysterectomy, is surgical removal of the womb. 2 menorrhagia or menorrhagia is heavy period. 3 is inflammation of one of the tubes that connect the ovarian to the womb. 4 cervical biopsy. Biopsy of small pieces of disease removed from the neck of the womb. With the conversation between the gynecologist and the patient in C opposite and complete the notes about the patient. Menarche is 12 years. Menstrual cycle. 4, 5 slash 28. LMP is 152 euro. Menophagia, no. Dysmenorrhea is no, and discharge a little white discharge. Now, read the question that the doctor asks. Look at the opposite to help you. Menarche. How old were you when you start to get them your period? Menstrual cycle. Are your periods regularly? When was your last period? Menorrhagia. Will you say they are light or heavy? Do you get close? Dysmenorrhea. Do you get period pain and discharge? Is there any discharge between the period? What color it is? Continue. Complete the case report one word is needed, twins look at B and C opposite to help you. A 45 years old woman had been having prolonged period lasting for 8 days with the passengers of clothes for 9 months. There was no bleeding between periods or after interschool. Her her periods were not particularly painful. She had none of this, any hot flushes or night sweat, and her general health and had always been good. She had taken the oral contraceptive pill until year previous when a copper coil was fitted. She had had a normal pregnancy when she was 25. Continue the heart and circulation run. Shortness of breath. Shortness of breath or breathlessness is dyspnea. At first, it is caused by exertion, physical activity, such as living start. But in severe cases, it may be present even at rest. A patient who is breathless when lie flat or tonias, for example, in bed, in the bed, will tend to sleep raised up on two or more pillows. The abbreviation stands for shortness of breath on exercise or on exertion or on effort. Patients say, I get terrible short of break living start. Doctor can ask, how many pillows do you sleep on? Barbie, her written. The normal resting heart rate is 65 to 75 beats per minute. In Arles, it may be as low as 40 beats per minute. In extreme athletic activity, the heart rate can go as high as 200 minutes. The heart rate may be regular or irregular in an irregular. There may be yearly beats with intervals, the regular weakness, premature beats, or the rhyme may vary with respiration or may be completely irregular as in fibrillation when patients are aware of irregularity. They describe the symptom of palpation. Heart failure. Heart failure occurs when the heart is unable to maintain sufficient cardiac output. The amount of blood pumped by the heart is H minute. For the body, it may involve the left side of the heart, the right side, or both. In left heart failure, the main symptom is breathlessness. The symptom or right heart included peripheral edema, beginning in the feet and axis This noun of feeding edema if one finger is patient into swelling and causes a small depression or pit. Aorta, pulmonary artery, pulmonary veins, mitral vein, sentence, tricuspid valve. Now the exercise. Complete the conversation based on the case history and be opposite. Doctor, what seems to be the problem? Patient, I have been reading palpitations. How long have you had them? For about 6 months, but I have had heart problems for years with tiredness and shortness of breath. In the end, I could walk more than 100 meters without having to stop. I had to sleep on three pilots. I had mitral ball replacing 3 years ago, and that improvement the thing for a while. Make word combination using a word from each book. At rest, atrial fibrillation, cardiac output, cardiac failure, heart failure, on effort, feeding edema, premature deaths. Read the word a patient. Will you describe the symptom below? Look at A, B, and C opposite to help you. 1 is breathlessness or shortness of breath. 2 is palpation. 3 is breathlessness when life flat. And 2 edema is swelling. Continue. Complete the case report. Look at A, B, and C opposite to help you. A 60 years old woman attempted her GPS surgery complaining of breathlessness of effort that had been increasing over the previous 8 months until it was producing problems at around 500 meters walking on the level. There was no history of chest pain. She had several episodes of fast palpitation with last 20 or 30 minutes and were associated with some shortness of breath. She had noticed some swelling of her ankles by the end of the day. This disappeared overnight. The heart and circulation physical examination. Medical examination is normally carried out in 4 stages: inspection, looking, palpation, feeling with the hands, percussion, tapping with a finger, and expulsion, listening with a stethoscope. Examining the heart and circulation. Here is an extract from a textbook description of how to examine the cardiovascular system. Look at the list, tongue and nails for the blue discoloration of Cyanosis may be central or peripheral. Inspect the hands for clubbing. Feel the radial pulse at the wrist and note the rate, for example, 70 minutes, and write regular or irregularly. The pulse may be irregular in courses as well as time. Check that the other peripheral pulses are present. Make sure the blood pressure and assess the jugular venous pressures. Palpate the chest for the apex bed. The abnormal position is the feet flat in costal space 1 centimeter medial to the main clavicular line. Feel for any try. Her side may be measured by percussion. Listen for murmurs and other abnormal sounds, for example, friction drums. Beginning at the mitral area, murmurs may be soft or low. A hard murmurs is loud and broad. Note the time of any murmurs in relation to the cardiac cycle. The most common murmurs are mild systolic in the middle of systolic, pensystolic, lasting for the whole of systolic, early diastolic, mean diastolic, and late diastolic. Continue by listening at the tracheas, aortic, and pulmonary areas. Now, the exercise. Complete the table with words from A opposite. Put the script mark in front of the script syllable in H4. The first one has been done for you. Where and now. Auscultation. Auscultation. Examination. Inspection. Palpitation, and percussion. Put the step for examining the heart and circulation in order according to the four-stage system. Look at A opposite to help you. A is measure the heart side. Inspection. Sorry. A is measure the heart side. Percussion. B. Are there any murmurs? Is auscultation. Feel the radial pulse. Is palpation. Look for cooling. Is inspection. Locate the apex step. Is palpation, and nose and try is palpation. Continue. A doctor is presenting the case of a 43 years old woman admitted in the cardiology department. Complete the test of her presenting. Look at B opposite to help you. On examining, she was period with a temperature of 38.5. She was short of breath. Her pulse was variable between 100 and 180 and was irregularly in time and force. Her blood pressure was 130, 80, and her GBP was up 5 centimeters, showed normal movement with respiration. Her peritoneal pulses were all present and three was not central or central sinus. Her apice bed was displayed to the interior articular line but still in the 5 intercostal space. Her health songs were very interesting. When she was initially examined, it was known that she had pain systole and mild diastole. Mormons. Her best at the apex. When she was examined some hours later, there was a hard pericardic friction through all over the preculium. Our diagnosis at the time was a mitral stenosis and incompetency with a racing onset or of pericarditis and atrial fibrillation. Infection. Fever. A medical student has made some language known on a case report. A 24 years old man present with a fever which he had for 3 days. On the third day, he had a severe attack of fever with with sweating and fevers. The only past history of relapse was hepatitis 4 years early and glandular fever. At the age of 18 years, he has returned from Africa 3 weeks previously. Microorganisms. Infection differ from other diseases in a number of aspects. Most importantly, they are caused by living microorganisms, such as viruses or bacteria that can usually be identified, thus establishing that etiology early in the illness. Many of these organs, including bacteria, are sensitive to antibiotic and most infections are potentially curable. Unlikely, many non-infections, degenerative, and chronic disease. Communicability is another factor with differences infection from non-infection disease. Transmission of pathogenic organisms to other people directly or indirectly may lead to an outbreak or epidemic. Finally, many infections are prevented by hygienic measures, by vaccines, especially like attenuant vaccines, such as rubella vaccine, or by drugs prophylaxis, for example, silocaine to prevent malaria. Microorganisms included bacteria, viruses, fungus, such as the parasite that cause malaria. Another general word for these pathogens is microbes. Patients often refer to the microbes as their urahus. Notice the common expression for acquired infection disease. Could he could he have cough pick up some disease from the dog? I think I have cough the flu bug. That's going around. 4C, source and spread of infection. He is an extract from a medical textbook. Infection may originate from the patient, usually from skin, nasofaring or bowel, or from outside source. Often another person who may be either suffering from an infection or carrying a pathogenic microorganism. Carry or usually healthy and may public the organism in the throat, for example, bowel or blood. Non-human source of infection included water, cholera, milk, tuberculosis, food, bacillus, animal rabies, and also the soil, Legionnaires disease. The incubation period is the period between the invasion of the disease by pathogens and the appearance of the clinical feature of infection. The period of infectivity is the time that the patient is infection to others. Now the exercise. Match the two parts of the sentence. Look at A, B, and C opposite to help you. (1,988) saw the UK launch of the library at home. Is G. Measles, mumps, and rubella. Chickenpox, varicella is common infection. Is E. Disease of childhood. 3. Rabies has an incubation. Is A. Period ranging from 4 days to many months. 4. The patient remains febrile. Is H. With peaks of temperature of 39.5. 5. He was admitted with a 4-day history of influenza type symptoms of fever with B, rigors, and general malady. 6. Quiet, a proportion of patients who recover from hepatitis B is C, become carrier of the virus. The central part of Africa is in the midst of an epidemic. Is F of AIDS. A. Miles, Rubella is most. D. Infection during the catechol state. Lyme disease is caused by transmission. G. B. From animal to man by exotic tick. 10. PUO stands for is E. Pyrexia of unknown origin. Complete the case report on the patient in A opposite. Look at A, B, and C opposite to help you. On examination, he looked well. His pulse rate was 100 minutes. He had a palpate explained. The combination of fever and rigors in a patient who has recently returned from Africa has only single a diagnosis of malaria. The incubation period is usually 10 or 14 days. In the case the patient admit he has not been taking prophylaxis regularly, the diagnosis was confirmed by the presence of parasites in his lung field. Complete the sentence. Look at A, B, and C opposite to help you. 1. An infection which can be treated successfully with antibiotic is curable. Another word for an epidemic is outbreak. Bacteria and viruses are, for example, of microorganisms. Someone whose temperature is normal is a pyrexia. The common infection with Herpes barbaris is known as glandular fever.